Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I've been putting this video off a long time because I didn't think I could do it justice. I wasn't quite good at this whole process like I should be. But here we go. I'm going to get it done anyway. Please like and subscribe below if you like what you see. Comment if you would. That'd be great for me. But without further ado, roll the intro. Yep, not hard to guess. We're going to be talking about the 14.5 BCM Recce, complete gun from BCM. Outside of all the accessories I've put on it, this is a complete gun. Comes straight from BCM. Runs right around $1,400-1,500, I believe, when they're in stock. You can get uppers that resemble this particular rifle and put them on your lower and pretty much get the same thing. Depending on the quality of the lower that you have purchased. Now, I don't know that I would say this is an end-all be-all gun, as I have described in the past, and I only say that now because running in a house CQB home defense with a 14.5 over 16-inch overall length is much more difficult than running with a 11.5 SBR or machine gun, if that's what you've been issued or if that's what you've purchased and you've done the tax stamp process, etc. Now, there are other options nowadays, especially nowadays, with the what people call the gimmick of the 13.7, 13.9 pinned. However, having not been shot one of those, I can't really tell you whether that's a benefit or not. But every inch counts. Size does matter, and in this case, sometimes the shorter the better. If you've spent any significant amount of time inside of a vehicle with a rifle or inside a house doing CQB, yeah, inches matter. And that may be a viable option, 13.7, 13.9 thing. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to get a hold of one of those, and maybe I can tell you. But as of right now, if you're not running it in a house, or even if you are, you can make it work. A 14.5 pinned rifle is still usable. But as for just shooting on a flat range, running and gunning, doing all sorts of different stuff underneath cars, maybe around cars, this 14.5, man, is just the balance, the gas system, tuning, and just the overall functionability of this with the rifle with the 7-sided key mod rail, super thin, and just everything about it. It's a great put together complete rifle. So what I'm going to do, as I did with the 11.5, is just go front to back and just kind of describe the things that I have on it and why, and then we'll get to the end, I guess. So the first thing that we can see is this is a Mod 1 BCM comp. Comps aren't really necessary. I know they help some people out, but they are super helpful if you get the right one. And this particular one I like, and the reason I like this one over some of the other ones is I don't think it shoots any flatter than a lot of the other comps that are out there. However, this one, the concussiveness, is that a thing? Is that a word? Concussiveness? The concussiveness and the sound that comes out of this comp versus some of the other comps that I've used does not irritate your neighbors that you're shooting with. If you're shooting in and around people and in cars, etc., the concussiveness, I think I just made that word up, and the sound can become a problem for the people you're shooting with, even with ear pro on. So I do like this comp, and with a 14.5 barrel, you may not need it, but it is definitely nice to have. It keeps it so flat shooting. Going back from there, we have a mod like OKW, which is the beam that shoots out a lot more penetrable. Penetrable? I'm making words left and right. It definitely has a very, very long throw. I do like that. I'm running the long boy body, which I call it. Just gives you a little bit more battery life, and then running a Surefire tail cap. I'm running a Surefire tail cap because I'm not a big fan of pressure pads. I do use them on occasion, but I would prefer a rifle without one just because I've seen so many failures with pressure pads, and you definitely don't want to be caught without your light working because of a pressure pad when it's pitch black. So I do like the tail cap a little bit better. I'm running an Arasaka mount on this particular build only because this is a 7-sided key mod rail. It's very, very small. You can wrap your hand completely around it, which is kind of detrimental when you're shooting a long day at the range because it does get hot. But as a defense weapon, that doesn't become that big of an issue because I don't think you're going to be in a 90 round gun battle anytime soon. Well, at least I hope not. But anyway, the Arasaka mount can fit at what would be the 7th rail, or the first rail on the depending on clockwise or counterclockwise. And by putting it there, I can keep my C-clamp grip and still access the tail cap without having to use a pressure pad to keep my light in this particular position. So I do like that a lot. And since we're speaking of grip, we can talk about this little tail hook thing, I guess you can call it. I'm not even sure what it's called. It's from BCM. I just got this actually and put it on here. And the reason I did that is because I had just done a BCM angled foregrip backwards and chopped like I learned from Lucas at T-Rex Arms, and I love the feel of how just the angle of the grip when I'm using it as a stop instead of a foregrip. Well, this mimics that same forward style of that grip when it's ran backwards and chopped. So I'm giving it a shot, and so far I really do like it a lot. Going from there, keeping it at the front of the rifle, I'm running an M-Bus low profile Magpul backup sights, front and rear. I do love these sights, however they are expensive. It's not really necessary. I like the fact that they're low profile. They are metal. They're machined very well, but if you can't, if you're on a budget, it's probably not the best sights for you there. I think they run about $200. From there, I just run a BCM QD mount, and I run it forward of my grip. And the reason I run it forward of my grip, I learned from Mike Pannone, who talks about in some of his classes, if you're doing a reload and your sling mount, which I used to have here, sometimes when you're going back to the front of your gun from your mag well, when you drop the bolt and bolt carrier, when you're coming back forward, if your sling mount is behind your grip, you might have a snag issue going to your grip. So I moved that to the front, and so far that's been a wise move on my part. Going back from there, as you'll notice, this particular sight is not the one you've seen in the videos. I run the MRO in most of the videos, which if you watch my 11.5 BCM build, which that is now on, is a great optic for a reasonable price. I have bought one of these Leupold LCOs recently. I picked this up mainly because a couple of the people I know that are far more knowledgeable than me on shooting and products, Drew Essel from Bear Solutions and Johnny Prima from Courses of Action, both run this on their rifle, and they love the clarity of the glass and the dot. So I'm going to try it out. I got one, and we're going to see how that works. I do trust those guys' opinions, and so I really can't talk about how good that is or not good it is, but it does fit really well. It seems to be pretty sturdy, and the glass is definitely crisp. So we'll see how that works from here on out. This is, as you've seen in my 11.5 video, if you watched it, this is the BCM Mod 3 pistol grip. I love this grip, and I will probably have this grip on any gun I have, regardless of brand, because just the ergonomics of it are just phenomenal. It feels really, really good. Same thing with the buttstock. BCM buttstock, the ergonomics of the cheek weld, the minimalistic area, bottom area, and the almost true to flat buttstock back end plate is just great. And then obviously, if you've seen a lot of my stuff, I am a huge fan of having a QD mount at the back end of my buttstock. And the reason that is because I like separation of the sling pretty far, because I run the sling when I'm running around and moving around a lot and manipulating the gun a lot. I like to run it in a necklace format because it's much easier to maneuver around. I can go support side if I need to without a lot of adjustment. And then if I need to sling it, I just have to feed my arm through, and then I can go hands on. But if you've seen pictures or you've seen videos of me shooting, I do like to keep the necklace format. The sling is a Haley strategic sling. Haley makes a great sling. He's a good friend of mine. So don't take that 100% of heart. I am a little partial to his sling just because it is a good sling, but he's a good friend. So there are great slings out there. I know Will Petty, who's also a friend, has a good sling. And there's some other slings out there. Blue Force Gear has a good sling, although thick. I do like a little bit thinner of a sling. But yeah, this is the setup for my BCM 14.5. Again, might not be the end all be all gun. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try some of this 13.7, 14, or 14.5. This is 45. 13.7, 13.9 pin to see if that's a viable option for a CQB. Instead of having to do a tax stamp and a SBR form. As always, I appreciate your support. I appreciate the likes, the subscribes, all the comments that are below, and all the DMs that I get on Instagram. I love you guys all. As we launched our new website, you can get the Gun Fu Fighter swag, hats, shirts. You can get Hatchet 21 hats still. We're doing another order of shirts, so check the website, Lineage Defense, and training, man. Training. We are, if you're watching this the week it's aired, we're doing Vegas this coming weekend. Hatchet, a.k.a. Lucas, and I will be in Vegas this coming weekend. But we've got plans for Pennsylvania, Utah, Tennessee, California, Arizona, and I think we even have Colorado. We're trying to negotiate right now to get a range and shoot out there. Listen, I know ammo shortages are there, so it's better to have a plan when going to train, and what better way than to come train with us. Tons of training companies out there, so I appreciate you choosing us if you so do so. But check out the website for the schedule. And as always, we always appreciate your support. Make sure you get out there and train. Things are a little crazier now, so stay safe, stay aware. God bless.